się rasta. To the summit. Hi. How are you?
Good yourselves?
Not too bad.
56 altogether.
Time and winds its way through woods, wind, and weather. At the state park on top, you'll see the home of the Mount Washington Observatory and the historic Summit Stage Office, which is where the world's highest winds were recorded in 1934. More about that later. This audio here are among the larger species, while bobcat, beaver, porcupine, raccoons, foxes, and countless types of birds can be found on Mount Washington slopes. Even on the summit, mice, moles, shrews, and voles have all adapted to survive in this extreme environment. As your journey takes you further up the mountainside, notice it has begun to get a bit cooler and that the trees continue to get smaller as the road goes on to its height of more than a mile in the sky, 6,288 feet to be exact. It's always been a hub of activity for travelers to the White Mountains. The summit community in the 1890s was a very busy place. It featured a large hotel, stage office, railroad station, and even had its own newspaper. Among the Clouds was the first and only newspaper ever to be published on a mountaintop. All visitors to the peak had their names published in its pages along with the local news and gossip. In fact, the latest daily editions used to make their way down after hours on the cogged railway track on a contraption known as a slide board, or more popularly known as Devil's Shingle. The automotive age was dawning, and on August 31st, 1899, an unlikely little vehicle looking like a horse-drawn buggy without the horse became the first motor car to climb the mountain. As noted in Flora Stanley's account of the adventure, their journey received more laughter than lawyers, as motor vehicles were still a virtually unknown sight to the general public. The amazed responses of the folks in each village they passed through, combined with the success of the Mount Washington ascent, proved to his wife after one of their horseless carriages nearly caused an accident in town. Well, as history had shown us, it did do more than stand still, as did the Stanley brothers, who went on to create the still. Now that you've had the opportunity to experience the world above treeline firsthand, prepare yourself for a whole new series of scenic vistas on the way down. Before we continue our story, let us briefly emphasize these important driving tips. For the trip down, the two most
rasta olur. To rasta.
বাতাস কি পাওয়ার বাতাস যারা খারাপ
আমাদের মতো ডিএতে তারিখ ফলাই দিয়ে আমি দিছিল
মোমেন্ট কি
আমার বেটা এখন দুটো আছে
এটি কি আসার সময় দাঁড়াবো
এগুলি স্নো ক্লিন করেছে
এগুলোই তো রাস্তাগুলো নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে
বামে দেখেন বামে look at this নিচে দিকে পারবো না কি বুঝতে
সারা ফারে সারে যদি গুড়ি গুড়ি
আমি আর বাইর করি না gravel রাস্তা কিন্তু রাস্তা না কি এটা নাম বলে রাস্তা খারাপ না বাম দিকে দেখেন বাম দিকে
তোর বলছাম না
তোমার ভয় হইতেছে মনে হইছে
আসলে তো
ড্রাইভিং এটা তো মজা নেটওয়ার্ক আছে না ফেসবুক লাইভ যেতে না তুই
হাসমাল কি বল হাসমাল নেমাটা হাসমাল ইয়ে করছি যে কোনো হাসমাল ও দেখেন তুমি স্কেটিং করতে দেখেন এটা বয় না
দিয়ে আমরা ওইখান থেকে আসছি কি
ঠান্ডা
না ইয়ে উইন্ডো ইয়ে আছে ক্লিন আছে
গতকালকে যদি আসতে এখানে মাথা ধরে যেতে হবে অফ ছিল
আট মানলে টোটাল
হইতেছে তো নাকি? হ্যাঁ? বোঝা যাচ্ছে ভিডিও হইতেছে নাকি? হ্যাঁ? দেখো।
টেনশন করেন ভিডিও হইতেছে।
আমি এগিয়ে করবো না।
প্রিমিয়াম ব্যাগের ভিতরে ঢুকে দিতেছে।
রাস্তায় যেন শুধু বেরিয়ে যাচ্ছে। এই দেখেন একদম আমাদের গাড়ির সামনে দেখি। ও এখানে হাঁটতে হলো না মনে হয়। এই বিল্ডিংটা হচ্ছে না এখানে।
সময় মতো পুরো ব্রেকের বলে দিতে হবে। লাইট দিয়ে চিন্তা করছো রিয়া? নেটওয়ার্ক আছে। কি রে কথাবার্তা হয়ে গেছে কেন?
এরকম হয়ে গেছে। মানে এটার কি আছে টিম উপর 4G
পড়ে গেছে না।
কি কোন আমি তো ফেসবুক পাইলাম
কিছু দেখা যাবে না।
গান পুরো আমার দিছা।
সদা আসছে করতে হবে।
গান পুরো আমার গেছে।
ভাইয়া এখন ব্যাগের ভিতরে।
জিপি জানি নিয়ে নতুন পাইছি। শেষ।
দেখে শালা গিয়ে তো আসছে
টুনার ড্রাইভার। আমরা ওইখান থেকে আসছি।
বাতাস নাই তো। ঠান্ডা। করি লাগে
না ইয়ে উইন্ডো ইয়ে আছে ক্লিন আছে
আপনাদের কেমন লাগতেছে আমার নিচে সবাই একটু টান দিয়ে দিলাম
ধর না সামনে দিকে তাকান
তাদের নিচে সব আমার নিচে সবাই তো কষ্ট দিয়ে
আমি ক্যামেরা ধরে সামনে এদিকে রাস্তাটা একটু বেশি আমি গুড সেরকম
এখানে মাথা দিয়ে ছিল
8 মানলে টোটাল ভিডিও হইতেছে নাকি হ্যাঁ আমরা মেঘের উপরে না ওরে এখন মেঘের ভিতরে এই জিনিস দেখালেন বাবু
ট্রেনে কিভাবে আসে উঠে দিই
ট্রেন আছে না কাছে
Listen to them.
You may have seen hikers while you're on the summit. Some are day hikers, climbing the mountains or traversing the presidential range by any of the miles of trails that crisscross the slopes. Many begin from the Appalachian Mountain Club's headquarters, just south of here in Pinkham Notch. Visible just above the AMC base camp is Tuckerman Ravine, famed for the challenging spring skiing. But skiing in this ravine is not for the faint of heart or casual skiing. The hip wall and gullies can be more extreme than anyone expects. Other merry wanderers may include the long haul hikers who are traversing the Appalachian Trail. This famous footpath stretches more than 2,100 miles from Georgia through to Maine and crosses the autoroad on its way. Even for these folks, reaching the top of New England is a milestone in their journey. The Native American populations of the area, the Abenaki tribe, among others, considered Ajiapacha, as they refer to Mount Washington, a sacred place where the Great Spirit. So rumor has it that they never climbed the mountain. This entire region was home to great numbers of Native Americans prior to the arrival of European ships and people. But times have begun to change as sparsely populated coastal communities of colonists continued to move inward. One of these early settlers was named Darby Field. After seeing the shining summit from a ship off the coast of Maine, he set out in search of fortune, enlisting two Native American
আমাদের
guides
এগুলোই হ্যাঁ এগুলোই তো এগুলোই
Darby said, now that you've seen the Alpine Zone, you can understand why we are so dedicated to its conservation. To your left, you'll see the Great Gulf Wilderness. This is a glacial cirque of more than 5,500 acres that was officially designated a wilderness area in 1964. This wilderness designation is especially important in that it protects a vast area from any form of man's intrusions. There's no timber harvesting, mining, or buildings of any kind are allowed. With the exception of a few hiking trails, only the forces of nature are at work in the Great Gulf Wilderness. Though it is unmarked today, the halfway point used to be a stopover for guests and horses in the old days. The halfway house offered shelter and refreshments before the last long pull to the top. Now take a minute to think again of the horse teams straining against their harnesses as the drivers spoke commands and encouragement. Horses ruled this road for the first 50 years of its life. In fact, it wasn't until 1912 that the first gas-powered vehicles took over the job of carrying guests up the road. From that time on, the horse-drawn era began to fade from memory, and the carriage road eventually became the auto road. The first motor vehicle used to carry passengers, the Thomas Flyer, began the change in 1917 by Arrows, and Ford Woodies in the 1930s, Internationals in the 1960s, and finally the Vans and Lucky. But weather on Mount Washington is generally more interesting than that, though. It's not that the weather can change quickly here, it's that the mountain seems to generate its own climate and environment. Sure, it basically tracks with the four seasons the rest of us.
Yeah, সামনেটা এটা একটা স্কিইং এরিয়া বুঝছো মাত্র উপরে থেকে ইয়ে আছে কি সেন্ট কোজে সেন্ট উডে ইয়া এগুলো কি
Huntington expedition was the first to winter over the summit in 1870. It was a remote, harsh winter wilderness which exposed the scientists to conditions they couldn't have imagined. The U.S. Signal Corps took over from 1870 until 1892.
Strips of snow have formed about the building, and as fast as the passage is cut out and the windows cleared, the wind drives in snow to fill up the
তোমার সময় তো
gaps.
পুরা মনে হয় ইয়ে থাকে সাদা
Coal is far from being good, is full of rocks and clinkers. Respectfully suggest that good coal and another heating stove be purchased. If such weather as this is to continue, it would be wicked to keep men in such a dwelling. Sergeant Isaac Byrd.
It can be assumed that good coal and another stove weren't purchased because winter occupation ceased in 1890. It took 40 years to round up another crew of dedicated weather watchers. In 1932, Alex McKenzie, Joe Dodge, Bob Monahan, and Sal Pagliuca staked a new claim on the summit, and the Mount Washington Observatory began round-the-clock weather observations that still continue to this very day. Then came the day that no one expected. A day that has gone down in history and has yet to be topped. It was April 12th, 1934, the world's highest recorded winds, 231 miles an hour, blew over the summit of Mount Washington. Pagliuca's logbook entry for that day tells the story.
We've been taking turns knocking ice from the anemometer post. Shortly after 1 a.m., I set out to clear the ice again, and it disappeared into the fog on the roof. I felt a full blast of the 200-mile-per-hour southeast wind on my face. Kneeling on the platform, I pounded the foot-thick ice accumulation with all my strength, but alas, wasn't making much impression on the rough frost.
On that day, Mount Washington earned another place in history and was forever nicknamed the home of the world's worst weather. Because of this, various companies and scientific institutions have tested everything from jet engines to paint and winter clothing. It is because of the reliably harsh extremes of Mount Washington weather that so many different types of tests have been and continue to be done. In a typical year, the temperature averages 27 degrees. The winds, although averaging 35 miles an hour, exceed hurricane force on more than 100 days out of the year. The summit is in the clouds more than 60% of the time. The snowfall averages 245 inches per year, though more than 500 inches, that's more than 47 feet, fell in the winters of 1968 and 69. Below treeline, the Great Glen Trails Outdoor Center uses the road as part of their cross-country trail system. This winter, you can take our specially designed snow coach on the road just above treeline for a breathtaking look at the presidential range in winter, and we'll do all the driving. It's a time of unimaginable beauty and deep snow. In fact, on part of the road known as the Cragway, 20 or more feet of snow accumulate each winter. Before the days of heavy equipment, pure manpower opened up drifted parts of the road. As the tourist season approached, the road crew armed with only shovels would begin to move mountains of snow that have accumulated in certain areas. Now imagine facing a wall of snow, 20 feet deep and 300 feet long, knowing it was your job to break through. This is what the early road crews faced year after year. Today, the job hasn't changed, just the methods of accomplishing it have. Bulldozers and backhoes have taken over.